It's all around us. There's nowhere here that doesn't have fire. Wind about 60 miles an hour, pushing it toward us. We have no idea how Idana or Detroit are. But at this time, they're probably all the way burnt up. This is all we have here.
Fueled by extreme winds, the Beachie Creek Fire exploded.
Right there.
Walls of fire and smoke raced through the Santiam Canyon. Police and firefighters dodged falling trees and boulders on Highway 22 to help get everyone out of the mountains.
There's fire on both sides of the road, and I don't know at what point trees are going to start falling on it.
It was a frantic escape, and not everyone survived. The Beachie Creek Fire had been smoldering in a remote part of the wilderness for weeks. So how did a 10-acre fire become one of the most destructive wildfires in Oregon history? We analyzed satellite images, photos, video, incident reports, weather forecast, and first responder radio traffic.
Multiple spot fires.
To reconstruct how this wildfire simply erupted. On the morning of August 16th, a small plume of smoke could be seen in the Opal Creek Wilderness, 75 miles east of Salem. The Beachie Creek Fire burned 10 acres. Fire officials listed the cause as unknown, although a lightning storm had started several other fires across the Cascade Range. Time-lapse video showed a column of smoke from the Beachie Creek Fire, which was burning on a steep mountainside, making it nearly impossible for fire teams to access on foot. Instead, helicopters dumped water, and crews worked to create a fire line, hoping the Beachie Creek would eventually burn itself out by fall. This stubborn fire remained relatively quiet through August. Images from early September showed the smoke. The smoldering Beachie Creek Fire grew very slowly in the hot, dry conditions. Then, everything changed. As the Labor Day weekend came to an end, the winds started to roar.
There's Piety Island there in the middle of Detroit Lake. Got about 30 civilians here.
Overnight on September 7th, the Beachie Creek Fire and another huge fire to the east, the Lion's Head, exploded. The two wildfires started to merge as they charged up mountainsides and across ridgelines, pushing west towards Highway 22. Small communities like Detroit, Gates, and Mill City stood right in their path.
Just letting you know it's still coming down the hill towards Detroit.
The National Weather Service had warned for days about extremely critical fire risk due to hot weather, followed by strong winds. Forecasters described the early September weather pattern as something that occurs only 2 to 4 times a century, explaining the wind event is literally off the charts for this time of year. As a precaution, some Level 2 evacuation orders were already in place. But the powerful gusts, clocked at more than 50 miles per hour, created another problem. Officials say downed power lines started nearly a dozen spot fires along Highway 22.
Be advised, OSP is stating that the power lines are coming down near Mill City.
Per OSP, Highway 22 at 7th Avenue in Mill City, power lines are down across the road for those coming and going.
I copy that.
The spot fires spread quickly, energizing what now had become a mega fire. Suddenly, flames surrounded small mountain communities. Firefighters and sheriff's deputies went door to door.
How close to the road is it? We're still trying to wake some people up and get them out of here.
The Beachie Creek Fire would become one of the largest blazes in state history. Satellite images show the path of destruction. The lakeside resort town of Detroit before, then after. And the neighboring community of Gates, seen here. What started as a small fire in a remote part of the wilderness would scorch nearly 200,000 acres and decimate thousands of homes and buildings in its path. At least 5 people lost their lives. Fire crews estimate the Beachie Creek will continue to smolder into winter, and recovery in the Santiam Canyon will take much, much longer.